see and chart, etc. These are concepts, ideas which are nebulous, ill-defined, extremely complex, and therefore, as one proceeds along this slope, which is a slippery slope, but we're proceeding there, one has to tread very, very carefully and make sure that you know what is going to be the outcome of this human being you dare to create.
I was extremely pleased to see when I opened up my Friday morning Jerusalem Post that the topic of genetics and Jewish genetics specifically was not only occupied by our very attractive, well-designed advertisement for this conference, which was the lower right side of the front page of the Jerusalem Post, but the middle and the left side of the page was an article on Jewish genetics describing the breakthroughs that we are going to hear about right now, and directly quoting Professor or Dr. Atzmon and his research. And when I realized that that he was actually the individual who was both interviewed in the article as well as going to be at our conference, I then really regretted the fact that I was talked out of putting the names of all the participants in the advertisement for space limitations, covered limitations, and a whole range of other things. So I didn't do it, but I really wish that I had, because people could have had would have had more of the opportunity. Just want to have a little bit a moment of armchair psychology for one moment of self-revelation. I'm very interested in this topic, and I think probably one of the reasons is that one side of my family they did a family tree, and they can find us back in Kolk in 1820. That's my mother's side of the family, so we know where they were because a cousin did a family tree. But all I know about my grandfather's family from the other side, because he and my grandmother came as teenagers on the boat before the turn of the before 1900 to the shores of America. I know the last name. I know that they said some other Altshuls were cousins, but I really know nothing to the extent of, I don't even know what I know what my great-grandfather's name is. I don't know what any generations back, know nothing about the family. And just knowing that, as every Jewish family, there was a rich history of Jewish life and Jewish living, and there were fascinating personalities, and there was so much happening, and for me to go to try to reconstruct that would probably be nearly impossible. So for me, somehow, the attempt to reconstruct the structure of our people and find our origins is somehow also, at least from a psychological perspective, found in learning about the Jewish genome and learning about the source and the structure from a genetic perspective of how we can understand the structure of the Jewish people. So I'm very, very personally interested in hearing Dr. Atzmon, and I hope you are too.